Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get started.
Straight from New York, yo, this handsome man,
You
yo.
are now tuned in to Aljo, the funk master. Watch your grill, you'll get knocked out cold fast. And talking shit, now we talking facts. Whether mount or off the back, you in trouble, came to burst your bubble. I don't shelter punches, they find home on your mind about a double. This the weekly scraps. You don't need a map, GPS, I'm right here to lead it that.
Right.
The world doesn't know it needs, but I grow the seeds, planted fucking name and the fame. Only legacy remains. Remember the name, Aljamain Sterling.
It ain't safe,
Motherfuckers.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the weekly scraps. This is our year-end episode. My heart. December 30th. We are right around the corner from 2023, and I'm super excited for the new year. I don't know about you guys. I hope you're excited. I hope there's a lot of good things coming your way. If not, I hope you got a lot of goals that you wrote out to give yourself some extra motivation to start the year. But remember, motivation isn't anything unless you have consistency. Motivation comes and motivation goes. Easy. You can watch a video, feel inspired, feel all this motivation in the world, and go get on your phone, play some video games, or get on social media apps all over again. And that motivation is gone. Got to be consistent. Get up, do things constantly over and over and over till it is habitual, a habit that you just always want to do. And it takes a couple of days, couple of weeks before that becomes a habit, you know? So you got to break those old ways. And again, it's all about holding yourself accountable, being consistent, and good things will come your way. But it starts today or tomorrow or whenever the hell you want to start. But if you want to make these changes, you got to go after it and really put your best foot forward, you know? I want to say shout out to Boost Mobile. Thank you for sponsoring this episode's podcast. Boost Mobile team, thank you for this new phone as well. Super dope. It is a Samsung 22 Plus. I haven't got too familiar with it yet. I played around with it a little bit. I'm still trying to understand the features of Androids because I've always been team iPhone. But either way, I'm going to give it a shot, see what they got. And obviously, it's an Android phone. They don't make the Android phones. They are a service carrier. And with that being said, power to save, power to choose, unlimited text and talk, no contracts, great plans for any budget, free shipping, and America's largest 5G networks, Boost Mobile. Go check those guys out. I don't have a promo code or anything like that, but shout out to these guys for allowing me to join the family. And I can't wait to see where this partnership goes. All right, so we're going to get into it. First thing I want to touch on is obviously I don't know if I got to talk about this. I think this is the first podcast back, man, because I've been traveling so much and it's been pretty hectic. But just want to say shout out to everyone in Jamaica who made this very possible. 876 for me to get down there, volunteer group that helped organize everything. Julia and Kyle Chin, they were nothing short of amazing, and such a short turnaround time for them to make these connections and hustle to get it done in terms of the media stuff that we did, the media run, then getting in touch with the charities that we went to, Maxfield Park, and then we also went to Jamaica's National Children's Home, which was really cool. So those are definitely some charities that you guys will see in the vlog that you can reach out to and make some monetary support or even clothes. Things like that, because there's a lot of things that they need, and that's one of the things I did. I didn't just give money. I went down there to see it firsthand, and with that being said, we were able to buy food there locally, so putting money in the pockets of the locals, and then on top of that, bringing the food to these two charities and making sure that they had somewhat of a better holiday, so to speak, you know. And it doesn't need to be overbearing where it's something that is outrageous for you to do, you know. And for me, this is just a start. I'm hoping that we can get more people involved, and I think people will get involved after seeing some of the great work that they're doing at their facilities with these kids and the lack of resources, you know. And that's what it comes down to, having more resources so you can do these things for not just you, but for the students that are living there and taking care of them who are displaced, don't have a home, or have learning disabilities, or have disabilities physically. They take a lot of the burden off of these children and make it easier for them to live, so to speak, in a day-to-day life. So shout out to those guys. What's up, Valentina? again, thanks for bringing us in and allowing us to come to your facility and see the great work that you guys do. Definitely check out the vlog, guys. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of eye-opening things. And, of course, a lot of the fun and cool stuff that we've done as well, like Blue Hole, riding horses, going to the beach, jumping into different oceans from Kingston, jumping into oceans of Ochi and over on the other side of Negril, the training. So definitely, if you have not checked out the vlog, I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of things that most people don't know about Jamaica other than the resorts. So check that out. Get a little behind the scenes look. You can see me meeting my family for the first time down there, going to their plaza, getting some food, spending money in their community, in their restaurant, so that, you know, the money's going to a familiar, I don't want to say familiar, but a place that's in the family, so to speak. You know how people try to say they spend money within the circle before they let it go elsewhere. So yeah, I could buy food anywhere down there, but going to their plaza, being able to spend money there, help them out, and even treated them to some lunches as well, you know. So fortunately for us in the States, people see us as more, I don't want to even say like we have a lot more money, but the resources that we have here in terms of work, items, infrastructure, I think we just have a lot more going for us here in the States. So when you go there, spending the money locally, for me, it goes a very long way. And I think it's very important not to just be at a resort the entire time. And don't get me wrong, those people make their money, they make their tips on a daily basis, but to go out into to local communities and spend money there, I think that helps out a lot more for the people on the island. So I'm telling you guys, watch the vlogs. You guys are going to be, I think, I don't want to say impressed, but I think you guys will have a better understanding of what it's like to live in some of these other countries. And I think it's really cool. So hopefully you guys get some of that feelings that I was getting when I was down there, you know, and I can't wait to go back and hopefully be a part of those charities, hopefully be a part of my family's lives a little bit more and get to know them a little bit more. Obviously, I'm of age. I know I do something that's very popular and polarized, so they might be looking at me like, or people might be thinking like, oh, be careful, your family might be looking at you as a lick, or be careful if your family might be looking at you like you're just a walking dollar sign. And don't get me wrong, like, of course, I've definitely had those thoughts go through my mind. That would be naive and ignorant if I didn't. You know, you always got to play devil's advocate. But again, I know what the culture is down there. So if not them, it would be somebody else asking. And for me, it's not them asking, it's me trying to figure out a way to integrate them into my lifestyle when I'm down there so that I can pay for services and have them help us do certain things. So it's like money earned instead of just, yeah, I'm just giving out money. I'm just giving out money. Like no one wants to feel like that, you know? So it's more, it feels more homey and more like you feel better at heart and more in your mental than just coming out and just handing out money left and right, you know? So that was really cool. So if you need a driver, definitely hit me up because I got a driver down there in Ochi. I got a driver down there in like the Kingston area. He lives in Portmore, which is my brother, and then we have my cousin that lives up in Ochi. We have a couple of drivers. They have some buses and stuff like that. So if you need local drivers, like I said, you want someone that could be your private driver, you can hire these guys for the day. And again, it goes such a long way. So I don't want to keep just telling you guys about this. Just go watch the vlogs, enjoy it, and if you have any questions, leave the comments, and I'll be sure to jump in the comments for that one. So let's go. Next up, I have Christmas in Dallas with the Cruz family. Going down there, first time. Normally, Becca's family does Christmas in New York, and I always pop by. We'd open gifts and everything, but this time around, we decided to go hang out with her family down in Texas who just moved there, their first Christmas in Texas as well. Her sister-in-law, the kids. So it was overall a great time. I got to meet a lot of her family outside of the brother and their, what would you call it? I guess their nephew would be, for me, my nephew-in-law, something like that. So we got to meet them, got to meet the cousins, the first cousins, and they have a very big extended family. It's not like my family where it's all siblings. They have a lot of cousins on cousins on cousins on cousins aunts, uncles, all over. So it was cool to kind of meet everybody, go through their way of tradition and things and how they prepare food, how they bring in the Christmas year. And it was fun. We had a great time, got some good food. We also went out to El Chingon. Thank you to shout out Kevin for setting us up at El Chingon. That was a great time. The family had a good time, and to get Rebecca's brother out, because they just had their second child, so life's been a little bit more busy for them. So for him to get out and actually be able to, I don't say enjoy life, but to let loose a little bit, get his dancing shoes on. I think he had a great time. His good friend, we had some good heart-to-heart conversations. I would love to get his friend Matt on to explain to us the Texas that we hear about from like a black community and Hispanic community. His upbringing was very, very different. And I'm honestly very impressed that he is as open as he is now. And I don't know why. I don't know how he was able to kind of break that mindset. And there's places in Texas that's not Fort Worth, that's not Dallas, that's not Arlington, it's not Grand Prairie. It's not like these places that are a little bit more diverse. It's places that like people don't leave their small towns. And I don't want to say it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's like almost like the 1800s. I mean, maybe I'm guessing. Maybe like the 1900s for them, like the early 1900s. So again, when it comes to these stories, if you were to actually listen to him and he opened up, I was really shocked that he was even able to like emotionally and mentally talk about some of these things. And he didn't go into crazy detail, but he explained to us some of the stuff that would go on. And it's eye-opening that even now till this day, bro, that people are still living like that. And they're just uncultured, unexposed to what's going on in the modern day, more civilized and more diverse parts of the world today, in the U.S. especially. So when people try to say like those things don't exist and people don't treat people like that, dude, there's still a lot of towns that are like lynching areas. So guys, don't take my word for it. You can take the guy's word for it who, like I said, was born and raised in it and somehow broke the cycle. Almost, I don't want to say best friends, but really good friends of Abe's. He knows his parents, helps them out. And his mom was a teacher. His mom helped him get integrated more into a more diverse society. So again, what he was taught from his like friends, families, his uncle, cousins, and stuff like that, the fact that he's so different is mind-blowing to me. And it does show me that there is hope, that people can change, and that people, and I'm not saying he was like that, but that you can change people, because he did learn one certain way of life. And then as he progressed through life, as we all do, his experiences taught him that this isn't right, So I don't know what he's done. I can't touch on that because we didn't get into all that, and I didn't really want to be honest. But the fact that he was able to just understand like what we go through as a people and how people can, and I even said to him, I was like, it's still fascinating to me that people can like look at you and think that they're better because their skin tone makes no sense to me. It's like, do you use the bathroom differently than I do? Do you put your pants on differently than I do? Do you eat your food differently than I do? If you cut me and I cut you, do we not bleed the same thing? Do we not speak the same language? So what makes you feel that you have some superiority over anybody? And I said this to him, and I'm like, and I'm not saying it to him like, oh, how do you feel this way? I'm saying to him, I'm still mind blown that people can think like that in this day and age. Like, how? If we had a contest in anything and I could dust you up in anything, how can you possibly think that? And I'm not saying we would win everything as like black folks, Hispanic folks, but if we had contests and it was going back and forth, it's just like if the playing field is even, you win in some things, I win in some things. It's like, how on earth could you think that you are better than somebody else? Like, how? You know? And I think that should make you open your eyes and go, maybe there is something to this nonsense way of the way we were grown up and the way that we're taught to think, and realize, like, hey, man, like, these people are people just like us, you know? So that was a tough ending to the night after Elchin going, being lit, and then coming home and talking about that. We spoke for like an hour, and I was like, dude, I got to go to bed. I could talk about this for the next 3 hours, but it's 4 o'clock in the morning, almost 4 o'clock in the morning. It was like 3:30. I think we all can say that we should probably get some rest after a good night of drinking and bonding and things like that. So shout out to, I don't want to say his name. I don't know if I did already, but shout out. Yeah, I can say his name. Shout out. Nah, let me not say his name again. Did I say his name? I have no idea. I'm going to have to go back and check. But I don't want him put him on the radar for nobody or anything like that, because I know some people could be odd. But really cool dude. Hopefully my fan base isn't like that, but really cool dude. And he'll be around for a while, and we'll be friends. Next. So this is like something, I don't know about anybody else, but the whole standby thing. I fly standby. My cousin works for Delta, so I fly on his companion pass. So if you have like friends in the airline, sometimes they can give this thing called a companion pass or a buddy pass to like friends, family, domestic partners, and then you can fly. And you fly for free, but you can only fly when there are seats on the plane. Because of Southwest, and I like Southwest, but guys, the fact that you cancel so many flights, and I don't know why. Maybe these people didn't want to show up for work. There's a strike going on. I have no idea. But I do know people had places to go, and they could not go. And a lot of the standbys were crushed. And even regular people who had revenue flights, meaning they pay for the flights. I'm a non-rev. So being that I'm a non-rev, I don't have a seat. I got to wait for my seat. And the revs who pay for the seats, because of all the cancellations, people were buying flights. And then I don't know why airlines do this, but they become oversold. If you don't have the seats for the plane, why are you still selling tickets? Why are you still selling tickets? I don't get it. I will never, ever get it. How can you be oversold on a flight by 10? And then you have to start giving out vouchers and saying, hey, we're offering $500, $700, $1,000, $1,500 in a gift card. You can get your seat paid for, and we'll put you on the next flight if you can have flexible travel accommodations. That's cool and all, but at the same time, it's like, damn, dude, what are you guys doing? How are you guys overselling these flights by this much? There should be like some type of system that stops it. Or maybe they give out a certain amount of flights to certain carriers, and then it takes a while for it to come back internally for them to be like, oh, we oversold. With that being said, a lot of canceled flights. Man, I was about to get stuck in Detroit. So being that I got stuck in Detroit, there was 2 flights left, 8:25 and 8:35. One to Las Vegas, and one. This is on Tuesday, and one to what's the other one? San Diego. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, if I could just get out of Detroit where it is cold, I'll be so happy if I could just go home to Vegas, or I'd be so happy if I could just go to San Diego and, I don't know, go hang out at El Chico in San Diego. The other one was in Dallas. This one's in San Diego. So I end up getting on the San Diego flight. And mind you, San Diego flight is gate A70. Las Vegas gate is A18, which is all the way down. If you're familiar with Detroit, it's all the way on the other side. You got to get the air tram, and it's like 2 stops down. And they come every 4 minutes. So it's not very often that these trains are coming. And I'm sitting there waiting. I asked the guy, like, am I going to get on this flight? He's like, it's payload optimized. You're probably not. There are some seats, but then we're a little bit oversold. And so I'm just like, he's like, you're better off trying Vegas. Bro, my stress levels. So I go, okay, I go up to the tram, and I go, something tells me, it's like, bro, if you go down to the Vegas tram right now, they're 10 minutes after this flight, you're screwed. So I waited. I went back down, waited to the gate. He was like, oh, you're not going to try Las Vegas? I was like, dude, something tells me to just wait, because if I don't get on this one, they're probably going to be stuck trying to figure everything out there with seats. So maybe I'll buy some time and I could get there on the train like at the very last second to see if there are any seats. And then you could even call and be like, hey, man, we got to stand by. If there's seats, he's going to come down. If you called his name, they could do that for you if they want to. I know it's very busy, hectic. You know, I don't want them to do the most. But, you know, if you could help a brother out, help a brother out. Somehow, some way, one seat was available, and I was the last guy to get on this flight to San Diego. Thank goodness. And with that being said, it helped me go to San Diego. And I went out, El Chigon. I probably drank a little more than I should because I was cramping nonstop. And I hit up Dominic Cruz in the morning. And, dude, I don't know how. I know my phone, I turn off notifications. I don't get notifications because I know if I get them, it's going to be like lighting up nonstop. DMs for messages from just people. So somehow he saw my DM asking him about training. And it was the same day. And he was able to coordinate stuff with me. For me, Jeremy Stevens, and another guy named Hussein, who's a Chechnyan grappler, really tough grappler, fights at 135 as well, undefeated prospect, Dom was saying. So Dom actually had staph on his foot. He couldn't actually train, so he gave me a call. We organized training. I was like, dude, I'd love to come down. And again, when I'm in Vegas, if you guys want to come down and get some work in, I don't think there's any chance that we're going to fight each other at this point in our careers. And I always said, like, if I'm not going to fight the legends, I would like to train with them and learn from them. That's the way I think you grow. And I think, I guess just grow. That's the way you grow, I think, you know, learning from the OGs of the game, so to speak. So with that being said, got some really good work in with Jeremy, really good work in with Hussein. And Dom said this is the guy he mostly grapples with. And he was coaching through like the positions and stuff like that, asking me like what I want to do. He brought me a Pedialyte. Very hands-on approach. I thought it was very cool because I could see how and why he's so good at the broadcast, because he breaks down the situations. We were talking Sayudo. We were talking like my injuries that I'm still currently dealing with. And I even told him like afterwards, I was like, dude, I think you should consider coaching. I think you'd be a very, very good coach. So now we got Mighty Mouse and Henry Sayudo. We got Dominic Cruz and Aljamain Sterling. Let's see how this goes, you know? So whenever they come out to Vegas, I even told him, I was like, dude, I got a place here. So if you guys need a place to crash, feel free. I don't know if they have a home out here yet. I think it would make sense. Jeremy Stevens, super down to earth, super chill dude. San Diego, man, I just don't get it. I got LA, and then going to San Diego and seeing what the weather is. Like, how can anyone be upset living in a place like that? It's not even a real place. Like, I don't even understand. Like, how can you be upset living in San Diego? The weather is phenomenal. And they said during COVID, it didn't get crazy like it did in LA with all the regulations and stuff. So that sold me when Jeremy and his boy Jimmy told me that. When they said that, I was like, Jimmy from the original, shout out to those guys who gave me a lot of fun earth plants to take home. So they would explain that to me, because I was like, yeah, I would make sure I keep my Vegas houses if I ever did live here. I was like, I could see myself living here. Because that was like in case another pandemic happens, and I know California got really weird. He was like, that was mostly LA. San Diego, they weren't really like that. They weren't letting like getting all crazy and super over the top like LA was. I was like, okay, that's reasonable, and that makes me feel better. So at least I know that the people in power won't be, and it could always change, but at least I know if we did get a place there, it would be a little bit more lenient than LA was during that time period, you know? So, and someone say we're still in a pandemic, and I just look at you like, okay, we're still in a pandemic. All right, cool. But other than that, really good training. So thank you, Dom, and thank you, Jeremy Stevens, for taking me in. Their gym is absolutely gorgeous. Victory MMA, like sauna, ice bath. You go upstairs, there's a cage, there's mats. You go downstairs, there's weights, there's bags. It's like there's a boxing ring. Very well utilized space. And then the locker room reminds me of Lifetime. And I don't say maybe like an Exports, not Lifetime. Lifetime is more upscale, so maybe more like an Exports, but you still have a feel of like a upper echelon of a MMA gym. And don't take my word for it. Go there, check it out yourself. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Went in lockers. You went in. It was like going into a locker room of X-Sports Fitness. Everything wasn't like brand new, but there was very good, obvious upkeep. And I think a gym like that would be a place that I would love to train. And then when you're done training, you could just go to the beach. That's literally about a mile away from the gym. Guys, come on. Come on. It's a match made in heaven. Shoot. So other than that, we're going to get some more work in the future. So that's my story with him. He put us through some different positions. He was picking my brain about some of the stuff that I do well, mostly the back take. And he was kind of talking on that. It's like the way you take the back and being able to control this kid and hold on to positions where most people will fall off. So we're talking, we're brainstorming, and I can see the wheels turning in his head, and then the wheels are starting to turn in my head, and we're going back and forth. I'm like, I like this guy. I might have talked a little shit in the past, but it was more so out of competitive respect or competitive nature that I just wanted to compete against one of the best and one of the forefathers of the sport. So it was never any animosity. Still blocked on Twitter by Dom, though. So maybe that would never change. I don't know, but we'll see. Conor McGregor, super jacked of late. One of the things I was kind of like some of the pictures he's been posting. Oh, Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez. Wait. Conor could wait. Es lo que es. As long as we get to fight is a certified banger that the fans will absolutely appreciate. Es lo que es. Adrian Yanez just posted this. Wow. Let's go. Commented in real time. So you guys get to see this in real time. I'm always on my phone interacting because it's social media. That's what you're supposed to do. Not too cool for school like some people like to act. That's a great freaking fight. Both stand-up guys. Rob Font kicks a little bit. Adrian Yanez kicks a little bit. Mostly boxing from both guys. Adrian Yanez tends to like paw and then snipe, where Rob Font mostly likes to stick hard jabs, 1-2s down the middle. He'll try to find an uppercut from time to time. He'll throw those big looping hooks with those. He's got big-ass paws. Like, his mitts are huge. So I can imagine when Rob Font connects, that's why he rocks guys the way he does. But he has to connect. The one thing I will say, he's a little bit slower. I think Adrian Yanez is going to have the speed advantage in this for sure. This is going to come down to durability. And I think Yanez has shown to be more durable of late. Rob Font has gone through those wars with those other guys, but he has taken some beatings in those fights, man. So I have to lean with Adrian Yanez on this one. So this one's going to be a banger. Rob Font ranked number 7. Adrian Yanez is going to break into the top 10 after a win like this over a huge notable name in Rob Font. Great matchup. Looking forward to this one. Wow. When is this going to be? It doesn't say when. Oh, April 8th. Wow. How did I miss that? April 8th. I wonder where that's going to be. Probably the Apex. Ooh, you know your boy's got to be in the building for that. Going to definitely be watching that one. Banger. Just open up my phone and see some bangers on my card. Like, come on, bro. You guys can't be doing that to me like that. Let me see. Conor. Yeah, so with Conor, I was just saying that I feel like he's been posting a lot of, like, odd pictures lately. Like, the one where he was, like, really close to I think he might have deleted it. Yeah. Because I'm like, what is going on with this guy? Only Conor McGregor could post a picture like these awkward selfie-looking things and get away with it. Because anyone else who did anything like that would get looked at as, like, a creep or weird. But Conor could do whatever the hell Conor wants, right? He's Conor McGregor. It was the one where he was like showing the Rolex and he's like this and cheesing, and I was like, dude, what am I looking at? I felt uncomfortable looking at that. I think he deleted it. Yeah. Probably a good idea though. Because it just looked creepy. And maybe he was tuned up a bit. Maybe. But I'm actually going through his photos right now. But the guy is jacked as ever. I like to know what he's on, because his arms are ginormous. His head, his chest. He's jacked, bro. He's looking like a bodybuilder now. But I can imagine what it feels like to just be jacked and happy, you know, not really cutting weight. Remember, he used to make 145 and how awful he would look. I don't know if you guys remember that era of Conor, but if you go back and then you'll see that he would just look like death. So I think when you start to look at the weight cutting aspect, and this is leading to that next talking point about Chito, Conor would always make the weight. He always show up. He always was bigger. He was, for the most part, faster, longer, more powerful with his range, his length. It was like he had like the optimal body type for fighting at 145. When you looked at Jose Aldo, who now fought at 135, who was reigning champion for such a long time, he beat Max Holloway, even though that was a young Max who then went on a tear after that. You kind of have to remember these things and the sequence of how these things went. It's like Conor then goes to 45. He doesn't have the same success. He beat Eddie Alvarez. Outside of that, who else has he beaten at 155? I know he went up to 170. He fought Cowboy Cerrone, but then you look at Cerrone, kind of goes a little bit up and down. Cerrone fighting after he had just fought. There's a lot of little nuances that go into the game and that go into the decision making of taking fights. And that's why I try to explain that to people. You don't just fight just to fight, because you could sometimes put yourself in a bad predicament mentally, physically. You have to analyze the entire game. Conor did that very, very well, picking the right fights at the right time, the right opponents, the right times for even his weight cut, even though he was super dialed in with it. But the guy looked horrible whenever he got on the scale, even when he would scream. He would always poker face it, because I know even when I do that, it hurts internally. I'm like, ow, that hurt a little bit. But it never feels good when you're like that. Your eyes are sunk in. Conor will look sunk in, but he'll make the weight. He'll rehydrate the right way and go out there and put on these crazy dominant or show-stopping performances. And that's how he became Conor McGregor, man, in my personal opinion. I mean, this is the way I analyze the whole thing and the way I see his trajectory and how it all went. And now it brings me to Chito, because Conor always made the weight, and now it goes for me. I always made the weight. So with that being said, I'm looking at Chito's talking point of cutting that much weight is cheating me. You're kind of a pum if you cut that much weight because you want to be bigger, stronger. Because I'm trying to read this in his voice. Because Aljamain Sterling really doesn't hurt nobody, you know. But maybe he makes you carry his weight, takes you down. I'm 155 pounds in or out of camp. I feel like that's a natural 135 pound, and I'm still thinking I cut a shitload of weight, because 20 pounds is a lot. That mother effer weighs like 170, 180 when he's eating effing God knows what. Yeah, you can make the weight, but that's why he's been KO'd unconscious, because of the amount of weight he cuts. If you touch him, he might go down. I see Patchy Mix commented on this too, saying, Christ's sakes. So, a couple things. I literally ran face first into a knee against Marlon Moraes, and I got face planted. Chito, Dom, Frankie, Yanez, Marab, Umar, Garbrandt, the whole bantamweight division could go do the same exact thing and get hit on the same exact spot from a force of a kick like that, and I guarantee you are sleeping. What are we even talking about? How are you even comparing that to that's why he's been KO'd unconscious? That was a very particular event, sequence of events that led to the KO'd unconscious. So we got to stop right there. It's not the same argument. It's not like we're in an exchange and I get hit and I'm going down. We could see that with the Yan fight. We could see that with the Pedro Munoz fight. I would say Stamen, but Stamen didn't really hit me all that much. Brett Johns hit me, and that was right after the KO from Marlon Moraes. Who else actually landed a good shot? I think Rivera. Pedro landed a huge uppercut on me. Yan hit me a lot in that first fight. The second fight, he mostly kicked my legs. But the first fight, he hit me a lot to the head. I still kept coming forward. I don't know what we're talking about here, Chito. So let me give you guys the Chito saga. So I met him at the UFC retreat. Maybe it was 2015 or 2016 when the UFC was doing this, and it was at the Red Rock Casino. I hung out with him a couple of times here and there. This is when Tom Duquesnoy was there, still in the UFC. Bam Bam, I think, just got into the UFC. So this is maybe 2016, 2017, something like that. So Bam Bam, Duquesnoy, Chito, Brett Johns, we all took a photo together. Davey Grant, Gian Vellante, Ala Quinta, Kevin Lee. There was so many different people there back then. And I met Chito, super cool dude. We were at the beach, and Vellante's trying to start a fight. He goes, yo, would you fight this guy? I think he said, or you should fight this guy, or he wants to fight you. And I started laughing. I'm like, bro, I don't want to fight this guy. The guy just made his debut. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I didn't say that. So I'm telling him bro, I never said that. Vellante just likes to start shit. So he's laughing. I'm laughing. He goes, no, bro, I understand. I don't want to fight you either. But, if we have to fight, it's cool. There's no beef. I just want to feed my family kind of thing. Super chill. I was like, yeah, of course. If our paths ever cross down the line, it is what it is kind of thing. Same thing it did with myself and Brett Johns. We ended up fighting, right? It's one of those things. And we hung out for a couple minutes at the bar or something like that. But for us, it was at the pool and passing. Cool dude, always respectful when I saw him. What's up, Chito? And then someone asked me about Chito and the Sean O'Malley fight. What did I think of the outcome? I thought Chito, I said pretty much Chito won the fight. I said O'Malley got kicked in a weird place, and we've seen this happen before. It was kind of a weird fluky thing that happens to people's leg. And I also said, but Chito threw the kick. So you can't take anything away from Chito. It's not Chito's fault that O'Malley's leg did that. That's on O'Malley. You should never move the way you did and you got yourself caught. You should have just checked it the way you should have checked it, or you should have got your leg out of there completely. It's the fight, any place, any day, anytime, anywhere. It happened right there, it happened that place, it happened at that time. Unfortunately, you were the one that got kicked. Unfortunately, you were the one on your back, and you got elbowed to death and hammer fist to death, and you got KO'd and woken up and then KO'd again. He didn't like my response and started calling me, F you, you're an actor, you're a fake champ, and all this. And I'm just like, wow, it's crazy how you're you could be this guy and then you try to be this guy. So I'm like, which one is it? Is Chito the tough badass gangster that almost tries to dress like he's a West Coast gangster versus the nice guy who's super polite? I'm like, yeah, we're in the same weight class, but I'm like, but which one are you? You're trying to be two different people. I'm like, I really don't give a shit which one you want to be towards me. I just don't know how I'm supposed, if I see you in person, then you walk past me and then you put your hand out and you give me this death stare at the same time. You put your hand out and you shake my hand and you stare into my eyes. I'm like, what do you want to feel my soul? Are you searching for something? Are you trying to intimidate me? I'm like, I get it, bro. You fight people for a living. That's really cool and super badass. I mean, you're the only person I know that ever does anything like that. You fight people. You have to be the toughest dude on this planet, right? Because you fight people and you make mean faces and then you look at them in person and then you shake their hands. I don't know which side of the fence you're on here, buddy. You gotta pick one. We don't gotta be best friends. You don't gotta be a dick. And we can be best friends, or you can be a dick. You know what I mean? So it's which one do you want? I don't get it. You're confusing me. I'm like, is he showing me signs that he likes me, or is he showing me signs that he hates me? I really don't get it. Then you're on Twitter, I answer a question, and then he gets all butthurt, and then he goes, focus on your effing shit. You're always something, you're so pathetic. And I'm going, so I answer a question. I said, nah, I'm not going to fight Chito. I'm going to go up in a weight. And then somehow that triggered him again. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm in his head or he doesn't really like me. I don't know. I really don't care. I'm just giving you guys the information. This is the Chito Aljamain saga. The bantamweight division is getting spicy with a lot of back and forth hate from people. And I don't hate anybody. At the end of the day, my goal has been to become a champion. Speaking of, I got to sit down and write my new goals for 2023. Thank you guys for reminding me, even though you didn't really remind me. And I accomplished that. I'm sure his goal is the same. but he gives these verbal jabs. Like, I'm like, it's cool. Like, you're trying to get the fight. You want to fight. And when we fight, we're not going to like each other. Like, okay, we're not best friends. We don't train together. I get it, bro. But what I don't like and I find weird is like, in one facet of it, like you're talking shit on the internet, but then you see me and then you're like trying to be cool. And then you can, now I know he's probably going to see this and someone's going to clip it out and then he's going to go, fuck that guy. I never tried to be cool with him. And I just shake his hand. I'm like, dude, it's weird. It's weird. Like, I'm not trying, I don't know what persona you're trying to portray. I don't get it. I'm just trying to understand. Like, dude, this is the Chito world. I'm just living in it. I'm just partaking. You can do whatever the hell you want to do, and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. So at the end of the day, again, I just don't get it. So which side of the fence do you want to be on? What person do you want to be when you interact in person? Like, if you want to talk shit to me on Twitter or whatever, and then say to me in person, like, hey, I'm just breaking your balls. Okay, cool. But then you're giving me like the death stare and you're shaking my hand, or extending your hand for a handshake. I shake your hand and then it's like this awkward thing. And then you're talking shit on Twitter and I'm seeing you in person. I'm just like, does this guy want to run up on me and hit me in the back of the head when I'm not looking with a chair or table? Does he want to go Devon Dudley, Stone Cold Steve Austin? Like, I don't know what it is. I have no idea. But that's the Chito saga with Aljamain Sterling. So I hope you guys appreciate the story time. And other than that, I don't really know what else to say about him. I do think eventually we will fight at some point. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at some point we will match it up, whether it's for a belt or it's not for a belt. So I'm realistic, I know I'm not going to be champ forever. I know I can't continually make this weight cut forever. Last night I weighed out after training at the PI. I weighed out at 63.8 and guys, cramping so bad. And then this morning, after going out last night, phenomenal time. Resorts World Hotel is one of the best hotels out here in Vegas. We had a great time. We went to this place called Fuhu for dinner. Shout out to Ron. Shout out to Sam for making the connections. All these guys have been great and hospitable. And one of the things I will say is, like, I do know people tend to like you more when you're in a certain position. And I do know when I do lose the belt, and I always have to think about these things because I wonder what life will be like for us, the day I do lose the belt or I do retire. Will the love be the same? Will the hospitality still be the same? Or do people only like you because you're in a certain position, or do they like you because of that, but then when they get to know you, they like you outside of that on a deeper level, out under the surface of who you're shown to be in the public image, the public eye kind of thing, So I meet these guys and I think they're super down to earth, cool people, So I kind of look at it like that. And I feel like if I vibe with you, we hang out more than once, and then it's like those are the people I like. Some people I don't really want to be around, but Ron was a super nice dude. Sam has been a super cool dude. He's been taking care of me, and I've offered him like free pad sessions, whole pads for him, help him because he likes the striking stuff. So like little things like that is like my way of being able to give back. I'm like, dude, you're like setting all these things up. It's on the arm. I'm offering to pay, and it's like, no, dude, So these are like genuinely nice people, and the fact that they've been able to take care of us, I mean, I'm forever grateful for it, and I don't take it for granted whatsoever. Because a lot of people probably look at me through their perspective, their lens, and see that we do all these things. We're going to all these fancy places, and they probably think like I'm just balling out of control. I could do that. Could say I don't need anybody and I could spend my own money, but at the same time, I'm smarter in the end goal where I know like the way that I make my money is very difficult. It doesn't come very often. And I know my end goal of what I'm trying to do financially, where I'm trying to save to. If I'm able to do those things, I'll be set for the rest of my life on just the savings that I have from the money in my account from fighting as an athlete. So there's an end goal, and I can't just go out there spending money like an idiot. I got to be smart. I call it, I don't say suffer now, like I'm still having a great time, but it's like you sacrifice now for the greater end goal later, so that when I'm an adult, a bigger adult, when I'm more of an adult, not, just doing fighting. And, I'm actually taking care of other things like children and things like that. I have these things set up in place where everyone will be good and taken care of for changing the cycle and the revolving door that my parents have gone through, So I look at these things and I look at fighting as a vehicle to get to those places. So again, shout out to those guys who took care of us. We went to Fuho, then we went to Zouk, the new nightclub right there. Results were all very cool places that we went to. And again, thanks for the hospitality, man. It's just, I don't know what else to say. It's going to be our first New Year's out here in Vegas. I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to not get stuck on the strip because I know it's going to be a circus. But I plan to walk around a bit. So you guys might see me in passing. Be cool. Don't be weird about the interaction. Again, you say what's up to me, you call me, I'm going to say what's up. I'll shake your hand, dude. I'm super chill, man. I don't act weird. I just don't want people to act weird towards me because then I get like this weird energy and I don't know what your intentions are because people do devious things, So I got to kind of make sure I'm protected and, I tend to not walk around with security. My security is technically usually my friends or my training partners. I got their bag, they got my bag. It's kind of one of those type of things. I tend to want to, I'm not like a rapper. I'm not like one of these guys who's going out flashing money. I don't do shit like that. If you want to rob a credit card, you know what I mean? So it's like, I try not to put myself in shitty situations and I try to analyze the situations as best as I can. And I guess that's the best way I can really put that. Other than that, have a happy new year. I do want to touch on one thing. I know O'Malley and his coach Welch were asking Henry Cejudo's coach Eddie Cha about the matchup with me and Henry and talking about things. I do respect Welch because he was saying like the fact that I did lose to Marlon and I was KO'd, you can tell that I am not unbeatable. And I think that's all perspective now. So had that fight not have happened like that, or had I won, let's just say had I won, now people don't see that side of me. They don't. It's a fascinating thing. It's like almost people think if they don't see it happening or have happened, they don't believe that it's possible. And people always say it's like inspiration for kids when you go back to the community. They see someone that's grew up where they grew up and they can achieve certain things. And that gave me a cool perspective. It just reminded me of this, that people sometimes they look at you and they can hold you in such high regard and think that these things cannot happen to you, but they forget that, dude, we're literally all human beings. Like this can happen to anybody, any place, anywhere, anytime. It just depends. Sometimes you stick around long enough, it will happen to you eventually. So that was cool insight that he says, like, because that has happened, it lets them know like, hey man, he's not untouchable. He's not invincible. He can be beaten. He has been beaten before. And I tend to break things down like that because it makes it more real than thinking like there's no way for you to possibly lose because any one of us can lose, So, but they said some cool things about the matchup in terms of the length, how dangerous the ground game is. I personally, like I said, man, Henry thinks we're going into a straight wrestling match. And even if we did go into a straight wrestling match, I'm telling you, I really don't think he wins because my IQ and knowing how to use my body to stop him and keep him out of range from where he wants to be and keep me in range of where I want to be, it would be very difficult for him to deal with. Range alone on just the reach, he would need to get inside very, very close in order to attack my legs. And with that being said, I think I do a very good job of using my range. I mean, just look at the evidence, you know what I mean? So people are going to say Olympic wrestling, yeah, but you still need to get inside on a much taller, rangier, lengthy opponent, which would be myself over Henry Cejudo. What you would have to hope that I would gas out. And I'm saying like we train for a wrestling match, like a traditional wrestling match, okay? But with that being said, I like the matchup. I like the assessment from O'Malley and Tim Welch. I know O'Malley was trying to call the shot saying like he doesn't want us to fight in April. He wants us to fight in March so that we can heal up and be ready to go by July. Well, honestly, that's on him because he's the one that decided to wait. He is the number one contender that was guaranteed the title shot after winning against Jan, and he is the one that now stepped back to say, you know what, I'm going to let these guys fight first, and I'll fight the winner. So if the fight doesn't happen, guess what? Sean, it's the fight game. You're going to have to wait. So Again, if it doesn't happen in March, you're going to have to wait. Because obviously there's going to be a little bit of a delay because people think this fight is going to be as crazy as it's going to be. We're going to be banged up. So unless it's a quick night, but for the most part, I would imagine that we're probably both going to be banged up and going to need some time to heal. So again, you want to roll the dice that the fight has to happen in March. That's on you. I'm planning for March. I'm hoping that it does happen in March. I know I touched on my weight. So after weighing 63.8, after the workout, I did that little cheesy video to Chito, just kind of like poking fun at him, saying like, "Come on, Chito, don't do me like that, trying to call me fat, bro. Don't fat shame me." This morning I woke up at 168.9 pounds. So yeah, I ate a lot of food. It was a lot of good food. Steak, rice and chicken with some beef, ice cream. We had a good time. We had a good time last night. I drank a little bit. Now I got PT session I'm about to go head to right now. I'm going to get this podcast uploaded. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, shout out Boost Mobile. Once again, the Boost Mobile family. Super dope for you guys bringing me on. And again, I want to make sure I remind you guys, please, please, please write down your goals. Write down the things that you accomplished this year. Write down some things about yourself that you like, some things you didn't like, some things you want to be better at, some things you would like to do. Because life is too short, and as we've seen with so many passings, we have Anthony Rumble Johnson, we have Stephen Bonner, Kobe. There's just so much things like that just happen in everyday life. We're all human. We all have our expiration date. Live life to the fullest. Try to do what you can as best as you can. Try to help people. Try to pay it forward. I don't know, man. I'm just I'm super blessed, super fortunate. Glad that working hard has earned me where I am. And I do know, again, that not everyone who does work hard gets to earn where they want to be in life. So I'm blessed and fortunate that I have had these luxuries. And one other thing I didn't say earlier about the Jamaica trip, we are looking to possibly build a gym in the grill. I want to buy some land. I would love to have some investors to jump in on board with this. I think this was going to be a phenomenal project. It's going to be kind of shades of Bali MMA, Tiger Muay Thai, aka Thailand. Low maintenance. We want to have it like located near the beach. We want to have a nice facility with some mats, some heavy bags, destination travel style. So you don't have to go to the other side of the country to train. You could go straight down to the Caribbean waters and still have a great vacation at the same time, have a great place to train. So guys, if you're interested, this is something I would love to do. I got the perfect Muay Thai instructor. We would have to find BJJ guys to help teach. But I think this is something that is very, very doable. And again, if you guys are interested in this, MMA in the grill can be huge, and it will also give a lot of locals down there an opportunity and the resources of places to train proper. So if interested, definitely hit me up or hit up Oren and we'll coordinate. Just check my bio. It has all the information there, how to email, go to my website, how to email, or like I said, hit up Oren. He's in my bio as well. You can send him a message. He'll get these messages more direct and can kind of filter through to make things a little bit more easier with the people that are actually serious about doing a project like this. So again, I'm expecting to do a lot of big things. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Sorry for the long wait on this. Again, have a happy new year. Hope you had a great Christmas. Thank you for the love and support, and let's continue to do great things. And hopefully there's more fights that I can jump into this year, and I'm looking forward to having another successful year or not. Life happens, and I'm okay with that. Life is life, but at the end of the day, it's how you handle it, and that's what life's all about. So peace and love. See you guys later. Stay blessed. Peace.